Good afternoon, and it's Lilia here, live from Skye. And with me today, an old friend that I'm absolutely delighted to see because I've not seen you for so long, May Riddell. How the hell are you?
Oh, I'm very well, thanks, Lily, and certainly all the better for seeing you. I've got to be honest with you. Every time I see you, I just feel a wee bit emotional, actually. I think the first time I met you, I actually cried.
Well, that was so interesting, wasn't it? Because that was at Barmola.
Yes.
And yeah, because we'd shared some history together in another life when Xander and I had the gym, wasn't it?
Aye, that's right. That was, I think it was at Bath Street your gym was.
In St Vincent Street.
St Vincent Street, the Vibro gym. Yeah. And it was then I first met you and you opened my mind to the concepts of the Sedona method, which I've never forgot. Yes. I actually still use the visualization, which I sort of interpreted in my brain. I still use that today with the meditations that I do of the perfect circular cell. You know, thinking about what's going through. I remember what you taught us. I've never forgot. 16 years ago that was.
I know, fantastic. Yeah, so, and then obviously you did the wild medicine retreat and you've been in a bit of journey. You're a big hit in the Hubbard community with Janice Klein. So you've really changed your diet and you've been doing a lot of work in yourself. I mean, ever since I met you, that's one thing I have to say, you're doing the work.
Yeah, I'm walking the walk.
I know. Well, I remember you saying to me leaving Barmola, you tell me what to do and I'll do it. And I was like, bloody hell.
Yeah. And I'm still doing it. Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think that was 3 years ago, wasn't it? That then. Yeah.
Time has taken on, I don't know about you, but I'm like, I don't even know what date is up here, obviously. But the years are just kind of all melding in to
Aye, that's right. That's right.
It's absolutely crazy. So you are going to be coming to, well, there's a couple of things I want to talk to you about, but let's start off with the festival, Skye Festival. And obviously, I don't know how much time you've spent in this island, but bloody hell, is it magical?
Yes.
Have you been before?
Yes, I was there a few months, probably about 4 or 5 months ago. I was in where we were having the festival, and is it Broadford? I was there.
Yes.
I was there for 5 days. I had my friend Pat and I had hired a wee cottage there, and it was just nice. It was lovely. It was just stunning. I loved it.
And the drive is just beautiful because obviously it's a big ask, you know, to get people to come here to the Heel Inn. But, you know, not one person, they've all been like just blown away by the scenery.
Aye. I was coming anyway.
So do you want to talk about what it is that you are, well, let's talk about your new business first. So you've just recently launched your own business. Now, you've got so many tools in your box because obviously, like me, you've been around the block a few times and you've learned a load of stuff. We have to admit it at some point. There's a lot of joy in being this age, isn't there?
Absolutely, love it. Love it.
The experience, the life experience, and the willingness to pass it on. So, tell us about your new business. What exactly is it you're doing?
Thanks very much, Lilia. Oh, it's I feel really excited being here. I've just started on the 1st of January. I had enough of having a boss. Enough's enough. No disrespect to any bosses I've ever had. They've all had their pros and cons, as I do, you know. But so I decided to go for it myself. Just an idea. It was just an idea. And my middle daughter, Becca McFater, who is now my business manager, she's sort of creative mind behind it all because I'm just a people person. So she does all the stuff in the background. But what I'm doing online, I'm doing guided online meditations. I'm doing sort of shake it up meditations in the mornings, and a Tuesday and a Friday morning, and a Wednesday and Sunday nights. I'm doing an hours long meditation, but they're all specific meditations, the universe, the chakras, and things like that. And on a Monday, which really makes my heart happy, and no disrespect to the men because I love men, I love them a lot, but no disrespect to the men, I do a women's only workshop on a Monday, and we've looked at things like the shadow self, building self-esteem and confidence, setting and maintaining boundaries and stuff like that. These are all things that I have been putting out there for years in actual live groups and all the places that I've worked, and I'm doing them now online. The other stuff I'm doing is in the community. I'm getting into the community with groups on life skills. The bottom line is the groups that I'm taking in is about helping people to get honest with themselves. That's basically what it's about.
Yes.
It's a sort of fancied up with different words and this and that, but the bottom line is, what is it you actually want? Why have you not got it? And what can you do to get it? So
Yeah.
they're very simplistic groups, and we have other things in the pipeline as well. It's really exciting, Lily.
That's amazing. And you know what? I did a week-long retreat with one of my friends a week or so ago, and she had very different energy to me, very feminine energy, but very organised and beautiful retreat that she ran, which I joined in and got the journal out and started writing, and which I never do. But I keep meaning to do, but I've never done it. And I thought, God, why have you not been doing this? So it's, and again, it's taking the time, isn't it? It's going, right, okay, give me this time to sit. Because a lot of us are just running around like a headless chicken, you know, with absolutely, you know, and knowing that we should stop and go, right, okay, where are we going here? You know, get the map out, do the stuff that we know works. And I think, you know, what you were saying there about being in the community, you cannot beat in person, you know, getting the energy of the person. And I know that was the one thing when you and I get together, we laugh hysterically.
I know. I can be a bit on the naughty side at times.
Yeah. Our T-shirt, Mon the Nettles, was basically you coined that phrase.
I should have worn it today, Lilia.
I know you should have. But it's so nice as well to be able to do the online stuff too, to mix it up. Because let's face it, then you don't have to travel. You can put it on. Do you do recordings or?
We're just about to start that, but the online stuff, I've got to be honest with you, Lilia. I didn't like the online stuff at first. I also work for Edinburgh University. I teach their students mindfulness meditation. I do that 7-8 times a year for the students there for Edinburgh University, and it wasn't that I didn't like it, but Edinburgh University are very good. You know, they just allow me to go in and do my thing, and I'm very down to earth with the stuff that I do. So they're happy with that. But it's only since starting my new business on the 1st of January, I realised about the energy. It seemed to me that there's nothing like the live show. It seemed like that to me. But the energy can still be there online. We know it's different. It's a different thing altogether.
Yeah,
but
it's powerful too.
It's powerful stuff, and it's starting to work now that I'm getting a wee bit more relaxed, because I get a wee bit I can get a wee bit nervous. Even though I've been doing this stuff for years, I can still get a wee bit nervous, and I give myself a cuddle and I go, mate, it's all right. It's all right to get a wee bit nervous, you know.
But you know, it's a big step, giving up a job with a secure wage. And then also the other thing that's hard is selling yourself. You know, because you could tell everybody, oh, Lily is good at this and Lily is good at that, but it's way more difficult to talk about yourself in a way that people want to buy your services. So I totally get it. I totally get it. Good for you, because it takes ghoulies to do that, I tell you.
It takes some savvy, doesn't it? Yeah.
And the other great thing about online is you're not restricted to your own, you know, demographic community. You can talk to people all over the world. And that will just grow and grow as you attract people in, which I know you will do, because you're a people person.
Thank you.
And I always remember at that retreat, I don't know if you remember this, you read us Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Now that was a total impromptu thing. You said, I read stories to people, and we'll talk a wee bit about that as well. But and I was like, oh yeah. And you said, you know, would you like to read us? I said, yeah, I would really like to be read a story. And then you did it over the few nights of the retreat. And then on the last night, we went to Crinan Ferry, remember? And the sun was setting. And it just, you finished that story and it was just like, and what a lovely, childlike, but yet still such a beautiful thing to do is to listen to a story.
Yeah, yeah.
So now you started that quite organically, didn't you? I mean, because you where you've worked and you could see that it was just a nice thing to do. So tell us about how that started.
That's exactly right. And just to go on before I tell you about that night that I finished Jonathan Livingston Seagull for all of us at the retreat was just magical, something that will stay in my heart forever. I never forgot it. I just loved it. I loved being on those retreats as well. That was where my journey started. My journey of I'm not powerless. That was where it started, with the idea of the retreats. Yeah, it was you, Lily. I started following you. Sorry to jump, but I started following you when we were in lockdown, and it was through you, going to you and Claire's retreats, and then meeting Janice Klein, and all the rest is history, really. But I'll maybe talk about that another time. But the storytelling started. The storytelling, always read to my children when they were wee. I read them stories and stuff. It was all the old stories. Rapunzel, remember Rapunzel, the story of Rapunzel. Rapunzel, let down your hair, Rapunzel. And Cinderella and all that. People frown upon these stories now, don't they? They're like, oh my God. Aye. But they were the stories that I read to the kids. So that's where it started. Then as the years passed, I read to my partner. I read all the Harry Potter books and lots of books, and then I got a wee cleaning job. I had come across hard times in my life, as we do, and I was starting from scratch again. So I was humbled to my core with life, and I was doing a cleaning job for these wee ladies. And one of them was Noelle one day, and Maya had got me a wee book called A Long Hot Soak from the church group that she went to. My wee Maya was only 7 then, and A Long Hot Soak it was called. Yes, I've got the three editions now. And they were all wee spiritual 4 to 8 minute stories about how people found their faith. That's what they were all about. But they were very down to earth, and I loved that about them. I loved the ball on the deck sortness about them. And one of the wee ladies was Noelle one day, and I said to her, can I read you a story? And she said, she was very surprised. I mean, she was in her 80s. And she said, yeah, that would be lovely, May. So I read her a story and she cried. She actually cried. And I don't know if she was, I don't think she was crying with joy. I think it was where the story had taken her. I recognised then it opens up emotions in people, because maybe in life we can be quite rigid. Oh no, I'm fine, I'm all right, thanks very much and all that. No. But you sit and you hear a story like, I read an excerpt from My Left Foot recently online, and it was the most marvellous story, Christy Brown's story, My Left Foot, autobiography. It was just a wee bit from it, but see what it evokes in people. And watching people like yourselves at the retreat as well, Lilia, just you can hear a pin drop. Storytelling to me is an art. It's an art because, and I never went anywhere to learn about it. I just done it, and as the years have passed, I think I've got better. I'm not sure about that, mind.
I'm sure you have, because you love the stories. I think anybody, and I keep saying this to my friend John, I'm like, stop talking about training. You don't need training to do what you love. You can immediately tell when somebody's talking from their heart.
Yes, yeah, that's
right. The skill is totally coming from within. It's just amazing. And don't you think though, there's something that is probably the kind of child within that just loves. It's giving you a wee bit of time and attention to tell you a story, which it's beautiful, and it reminds you, probably if you're lucky enough, of nice childhood memories. Maybe not, but something maybe that you've missed even in your childhood.
Absolutely. I was working in mental health there, Lily, as you know, for a year, the last year there of my working for the boss. And this woman, one of my storytelling groups, the woman was crying, and I had a wee chat with her after it. And she says, I'm 58. She went, I've never been read a story even as a child. I could have cried, you know, I felt that. But one of the things that started to change for me with the storytelling was when I come to the retreat in Tarbert and met Amanda, the woman Amanda that you got in to do the live
Yes.
story. I can't, sorry Amanda, but I can't remember your surname, but she touched me so deeply in my heart and soul. I felt everything that she said. She resonated with my heart because there's part of me like that as well, but I was so inspired by this. She could just talk about, you know, she could pick something up and talk about it. And I was like, because I'm reading stories from books. And I know that that's got its place as well. But what I was so enamored by Amanda, and it was really, really strange because I don't know, I never ever got around to telling Amanda this, but because of that, I went into my heart with that, and I thought, what is it? What is it about storytelling that I love? And what come to me, do you know what I actually seen? Because I'm a visual person in my mind. I went back into my meditation took me back into the cavemen days.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
That's where everything
I
get
could
passed
see
down.
a whole community of people sitting round a fire inside a massive cave. And I thought, they never had books. They never had them. They done what Amanda done. So one day in the place that I worked, I went in one day and I forgot my storytelling book. And one of the boys, there was like 19 people waiting to be told a story. And I'm panicking. I'm like, oh my God, I have to Google something that's short. And I said I put it out, I swear this is absolutely true. I put it out. I said, imagine in the cavemen days. I said, I've given this some thought. I said, imagine them. And I painted a story of a whole community sitting within a massive cave with a fire, round the fire, telling stories about when they were out hunting the buffalo, when they were out hunting other animals. The women were telling stories about the stuff that they were doing with the children, the stuff that they were planting.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, this woman pipes in and she said, yeah, she says, I would be the washerwoman. And everybody started laughing. And I says to her, I says, elaborate on that. And she says, she went, I actually seen myself there down at the rocks with the buffalo skins. She went with the buffalo skins, giving them a good wash, you know, and shaking them out with the other women. And that group lasted 2.5 hours. So
Wow.
2.5 hours, we spoke about what it would be like to be a caveman, how they found out what plants to eat and what plants not to eat, how there must have been somebody that tried all those plants that are poisonous. We don't know if they died. We hope not. But
Fantastic.
to me, storytelling is endless, but I do love, my biggest love in life is to read stories from a book to others, to capture their emotions and their imagination so that they go into the story. Because see, when I read a story to people, Lilia, I'm in that story.
Oh, I know. And
I can
that's what
see
I
it.
mean. That's the bringing it to life, isn't it?
Aye.
And they say now as well, because kids tend to watch videos and, you know, whatever, they're losing that ability. Like if you're sitting, like what happened there, talking about round the fire, everybody starts going into their imagination, and that is our superpower, is our imagination. Whereas the kids now are kind of given everything. That's how that looks. So nothing's getting left to the imagination. You know, for you to work out what did the princess look like, because you're told that's what they look like. So it's not really great in lots of ways. Obviously, there's pros and cons with everything, but I think there's nothing better than when somebody tells you a story, and it is definitely a natural gift, like poetry or singing or anything like that. To me, it seems anyway. That you're there, and your imagination starts that energy starts flowing, and who knows what information's coming in. Brilliant. So have you done that again then, or is that your...
And I've done it many times, Lilia, since then, and also as well, it's been great as well, because I mean, I always say, everything I know I have learned from other men and women, everything. And then what I have done, like you, Lilia, because I think you're like that as well. Well, I just put my own slant on it with my savvy, with the strength and the understanding that I have, and that's enough.
Yes.
And it can take us such a lifetime, doesn't it? That I love what you said earlier about being grateful to be this age. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to be this age. But it can take us a lifetime to see that that's enough. That's enough,
Absolutely. And I think these, storytelling is free. And you know how I do like stuff that's just, we can give obviously to people, and it's great. Obviously people can reward you, etc. But generally speaking, you can get a book out and, you can read to your kids or get your kids to read to you. It's something that we can all do. And it's so good for families, isn't it, as well? There's so many great reasons to do it. And I think also sitting around a bonfire, because the power of radiant heat compared to convected heat just doesn't even clean the energy system, whereas radiant heat does. So, and you see that more since lockdown, people getting bonfires outside, and it's a really healthy thing to do. And storytelling can be a really great part of that. And these old stories that you've not heard for years, I always had envy of Rapunzel's hair. Always when I was young, I wanted
so did that.
that crazy long hair. So you've got, so you're doing, are you storytelling as well?
Online, since I've started the wee business on the 1st of January, I've only done one storytelling, but it feels like to me that the world is our oyster. We can go out there and do anything, and if people like it, they might have me back, that way. So we're going to start, I mean, I'll go to people's houses if they want. I'll go and read them a story, and then they'll do a meditation with them and their friends. That's about 16 years ago. I used to have the nights at my house, and my pals would go, "Oh, for God's sake, May, I'm not really into storytelling." And I would say, listen, just bloody well come along, right? Because, bring cake, because none of us drink or that, as you know, Lily, I'm in recovery. But I bring cake and just come and I'll read you a story. And honestly, Lily, I kid you not, and it sounds a wee bit smarmy actually, but it's true, and I'm not kidding. Never once did the person that said storytelling, it's not my thing, May. Never once did that person leave my house and go, May, that was terrible. They all said that they might have said it just to keep me happy, mind, but I don't know.
I doubt it.
But they left, and what I would do is I would start off with a wee. These were great nights at the house. I loved these nights at the house, having all the women and sometimes my friends as well. That were male. Some of the guys would come. I would eventually talk them into it as well. But they were great nights because we'd all have tea and cake, and then we'd all sit in a circle around my living room. And I don't know what happened. I have quite a creative mind when I go into that space. It comes fast and furious for me. And sometimes when people come in, I would just think on the spot and go, I'm going to do whatever tonight, and I would do that. But mostly I would do a wee story, and then I would do a meditation. Sometimes I would do a prayer night where we'd all sit and pray together. I mean, none of us, I think there was a couple of us that were Christians. Not everybody was religious. Some people were very anti-religious. But, I would say to them, because we need to be respectful. I'm respectful of people's ideas and that, but I hold mine close to me, and that's okay. I don't need to be the same as everybody else, and they don't need to be the same as me. But we would do wee prayers as well. We'd say, or we would put the names in to bowls and stuff for people we wanted to pray, and then we would all sit and hold hands, and I would just say a wee thing. I also done that when I worked at Castle Craig. The patients loved it, Lilia. They loved it. But yeah, I mean, again, sitting in circles, Lilia, sitting in a circle.
I know. And, whether you call it praying, whether you call it group intention, whatever you call it, It's the same thing, and people have been doing it for millennia. And it's funny how the words can put people off when you just actually realise. I don't know if you've seen, I keep banging on about this, Joe Dispenza's new documentary, The Source.
No,
it's an absolute game changer. But meditation, the power of meditation for just about everything, actually. It's great that you're really creating something that people can join in the meditation with. But then I'm looking at it going, that's the power of the collective. Because I remember when I joined Tony and Guy, I thought, what a fantastic business model, what a great idea. If everybody pulls together. And they never do. Everybody's wanting, they're only concerned about themselves in general. And I was like, why is everybody not just pulling together? And you see, when you go to something like Joe Dispenza, you've got everybody there meditating, or you come to the Heal In. Everybody here wants everybody to heal. They want the best for each other. So it's quite a unique setting. And that's when you go to meditate, you're going there and you want everybody to have so when you've got that group intention, you literally create this power grid of energy. So I'm excited about what you can achieve online as well, because we so need it. And, people can join you, which I highly recommend that they do, and, get some practice. But, it's also, if you don't have any money or if you're really tired, you can go on YouTube. There's tons of stuff there.
Yeah. And if anybody wanted to do my meditations, really, and I mean, if you can follow me on the May Riddell Therapies Facebook page, but if you wanted to do any of my meditations and you didn't have the money, there's no way in God's green earth that I'm going to say to you, wait till you got the money. I mean, imagine that. So, I mean, I don't know, I'm sure you don't know this, but every group, I do five groups a week online, and every group I give out 10 to 15 free spaces every time I do a group. So there's always, and I try and give it to somebody else and stuff like that. And I don't mean to say that for any reason other than the fact I think it is right for me to do that.
100% agree.
Because there was a time in my life didn't have much. And without the grace and the kindness of people like yourself, Lilia, and other people, I would not have. The journey of climbing back up the ladder would have taken me twice or much longer than it actually did. It was only through the grace and the kindness of folk. And I have never forgot that. And my daughter told me, Rebecca, who's my business manager, Mum, you give away all that. She went, you stick with that concept that you is part of you, Mum. You stick with it, because it's only then will you receive. And it's true, Lilia. I know it's true. Yeah.
Well, it's worked for me. It's worked for Heal Scotland. Because I'm like that. All that we want is somebody with a desire. That's all. And if you can't afford to come, then you just come to me. And that's it. The job is done, because like you, I've been in a position where I couldn't afford to do things, so and they say, oh, well, if you don't pay for it, you don't appreciate it. There's a lot of rubbish. In fact,
I don't know about that.
People appreciate it more when you've helped them at a time of real need.
Well, look what I'm doing now. I don't need to even say the words. I don't even need to say the words that I'm grateful. That is part of who I am. I've never lost gratitude for the day of my life I was reborn. 16 years ago, I was given a new life. I'm grateful because I remember, and I've lost so many of my family members. I'm still here today. I still breathe air. I can try the new stuff. I can be part of life and love. I have been given that. I'm still here doing it. So you better believe your bottom dollar I'm grateful, And the thing is as well, see, anything I do online, anything that's an hour is a tenner. And when you buy a ticket, you get another one free. So you get two for a tenner. And the half-hour ones are £7, and you get a ticket free if you buy a 7. They're not expensive.
No.
But I'm not going to pretend, because the bottom line is I still go to pay my gas in Lecky.
Yes. No, that's the place we're currently in, where but and there are people that can pay for it, and that's fine. But what we're talking about is the few people that would love to do it but can't afford it at this time. And things always come back, as you know, because it's just a flow of energy. And when you give with no agenda, then it comes back. Look where I'm sitting just right now in this phenomenal place. I mean, it's like a miracle. So let's just talk a little bit about your journey. I'm just remembering another story you told where you'd eaten that whole chocolate cake.
And Janice Klein will be laughing when she hears this, I'll tell you.
And Janice Klein's coming to the Sky Festival as well, so that's fantastic. We're going to have an absolute ball.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to it. Yeah,
I know. And then you were saying how it wasn't until you were nearly in the ground that you actually woke up. You know, it was almost because you had cancer, didn't you? And
yes,
it was that there's been a lot of pain in your journey. Let's face it. What the kind of grateful, joyful version that you are now took a bit of time and dedication, did it not?
Wow, I felt that there. I felt that. Wow, yeah. I mean, the people that know me very well, and there's not many of them, got to be honest with you, but the few people that know me very well in my new life, which has been the last nearly 16 years, I know they would sing my praises about being a hard worker and really applying myself, and it's true. It's true, but I don't think it's possible to live a life like I have lived, and not come out the other side like this. It's a whole. Not only is it a spiritual experience, it's a whole psychic shift in a body, mind and soul of a person. And it didn't happen overnight. It happened a wee bit at a time. I always say that, never overnight. Over time we change. Because I was plagued by the usual things that people have. Jealousy. She's got bigger boobs. I was always jealous of the women with the nice boobs because I lost my breast. And that, and I would find, I know it was strange, Lilia, you laugh at this, Lilia, because I was find myself looking at women's breasts a lot. And one of my daughters like, Mum, come on, people are, and I'm like, I don't care what people think, do you know what I mean? But I'm not gay. But I do like to look at women's boobs. I've stopped it now. It's been 10 years past now. But every now and again. So if I see you at the festival, please forgive me if I'm looking at your boobs, because sometimes I fall and I forget, you see. But so we must give ourselves the time to see the funny side of it and all, because we can't. I mean, self-pity's. My pal Angie used to say self-pity's for arseholes. Sorry for swearing. So forgive me for saying that, but she did. That's what she said.
I know, that's another T-shirt. I absolutely love that quote. Thank you for reminding me about it. Because it's that down to earth thing. As you know, when when I was kind of volunteering at the Second Chance project, you know, I loved it because again, you know, and I used to think is actually when you get to that place, the dark night of the soul, you're quite lucky because that's the thing. And then you're like that. Can you help me?
Yes.
Instead of kidding on, you can do it all yourself. And then obviously the 12-step program, which I'm a huge fan of. You know, I remember reading it and going to the meetings thinking, why is everybody not doing this? We should all be doing it. You know, it's a total no-brainer. So it kind of changed the way I looked at the programs, because I was like, you know, you guys are freaking really on something very valuable and very honest, because you said that, you know, when we started talking. I think I was laughing because I've been doing Bach flower remedies, and
I saw that,
Giovanna Franklin and Jennifer Main, they always say this. There's no such thing as my truth. There's truth. And there's your opinion or your point of view. It's, you know, we want to twist at things in our very entitled era. But the truth is the truth. And, you know, if you and I are both very good bullshit detectors. And you know when somebody's talking rubbish, you know, and you're like, unless we're ready to actually be radically honest about what we're feeling and what we're thinking and what we're actually doing. I say that to people, I'm not interested in what you eat. It doesn't affect me at all, But see, for your own sake, write everything they eat and drink down, and then you're not lying, you know, because that's somebody who, an ex-nutritionist said, just get bored with it. I was just like, I can tell by looking at somebody whether they're doing the work or not.
That's right. That's right. I'm glad you can only see me from the chest up now, then, because I've put about 2 stone on with the chocolate cake, obviously, and the pie suppers. But don't tell Janice Klein. I'm just kidding. Janice laughs at me when I say that. But the bottom line is the journey from nearly self-destruction to where I am now has been a big journey. It has been full, Lilia, full of having to face myself and the bits of me I don't want to face. It's been full of that. It's been full of seeking inside and going, oh my God, that's the truth. It's been absolutely full of it. And also it's also been tempered by a very, very big desire to understand human behaviour and nature, because I can think of nothing better, apart from reading stories, that I like than observing people's behaviour, because I've learned a lot about that and myself.
Yes.
I can be the person. I mean, I'm honest. I'm an honest woman, but sometimes I'll lie if it suits me, if you know what I mean.
I know, and you've got to catch yourself on, because you're like that.
Aye.
There is no exceptions here.
No.
You're either doing it or you're not. It's black and white, and because I've caught myself like that as well over the years, going, no, like that's a wee avoidance of the truth there.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to say something, Lily, as well, when you were talking about second chance. Sorry, I meant to say, it's great, this wee chat. I'm really enjoying it. Second chance, yeah, we loved you as well. I know you said you loved doing the voluntary work there, but we loved you as well. And some of the boys had a wee fancy for you, by the way. And they were so excited. They would all go, oh, you know, we're going to see Lilia, you know. And me and the other girl, Lynn and Vicky, we would be like, oh God, you know, boys. But coming there and learning the new things, not only the exercise with the vibro plates and all that, imagine that, because I do that in the morning shake-up meditation that I do online.
Yes.
I lift the heels and bang the body in the ground just to vibrate right up.
Yes.
But that's where I got the idea from, the vibro plates 16 years ago.
Oh, that's incredible. But you know, it was funny, I was talking about that, the second chance, because they knew that I volunteered for that. And and I was saying that really, so they knew the only agenda I had was like, come on, guys, you know, see what's happening here, you know, stop giving your power away. And you know, so if I was getting paid to do a job, it completely changes the energy. You know, when you rock up, just like, come on, you're powerful, wakey to what you've got inside. And there's no money to be made. There's no agenda, you know, apart from, if I would like to think some human being that had experienced that would give that to me, because you feel that amazing, you want to share that with everyone else. Right. And the thing is, you learn the hard way that not everybody wants to learn. It's not their time, whatever. But it was a hugely, and even my son, who was a bit like, what are you doing? And it ended up, he said the exact same thing. He said, that's my most enjoyable couple hours of the week.
Wow.
You know?
Wow. Yeah.
So
hi,
Caroline, that's good to hear.
You were very good to us, Lily. I want to say thanks to you. I know you're speaking to me the day and you're asked, but I want to say thanks to you, Lilia, because I know that you're, for the day that I saw you on for lockdown, I knew that you were out there doing the work. You know, trying to educate people about Scotland and about the wild medicine, about us being the medicine, about this and that. And so thank you, Lilia, for all the service you are for the whole of us, all of us.
Well, and thank you for being.
I've always appreciated you, Lilia. I really have, and I know a lot of people do. And maybe you don't hear it.
No, I do hear it.
So that's good. I'm glad you do.
People are very, and I see it. You know, this whole time that I've been here, it's like you see it in people's faces. Even Fiona, that comes up to help me do the cleaning, she's like, I don't know what you're doing. but she said the difference when people are leaving. But it's just, you said at the very start, when you came in my retreat, you left feeling empowered. That's how people leave here, because that's it's, you know, as well as I know now, that there's a huge power inside that most people, inside of everyone, that most people don't know yet. And that's all that we are doing, is igniting that light, that spark. And it's just one of the most worthwhile things you can ever do. But as I say, I've been banging on about this stuff for quite a long time. So it's nice to see that people are ready now, you know, and are getting the results. And we've had amazing testimonies. But anyway, we're not on here. I could keep you on here all day, because you're coming to the festival and you're going to be doing a bit of storytelling and some meditation.
Yes.
So people can come and meet you there. And then they can. I've put your link to your Facebook page.
Thank you, Lillian.
People can come and find you and join your meditations. And I would like to get you back on again to talk about your story and the therapies. And we can go into a little bit of science about the understanding of meditation and why it's so important that we do it.
Yes.
It's just there's, as I say, this is a wee quick introduction, so that people know you're going to be at the festival in Skye, in Broadford, in March.
Yes, I'll be there.
Hi, there's Claire, and hi, Caroline. Lovely to see you. They're just saying they've enjoyed the laugh. So I will see you. I'm going to India for 2 weeks. So I'll have a nice wee suntan, hopefully, when I come back.
Wonderful. Good, Lily. Enjoy.
I'll see you in Broadford. And listen,
see
all
you there,
the very,
Lily,
very
and
best
see
for your
everybody
new
else
business.
there. I'm so excited and looking forward to it.
I know it'll rock.
Yeah, it'll be
See you
fabulous.
soon.
Lots of love, Lilia. Bye.
Bye.